no matter where you're at in fitness, where you're at in life, this one's going to rear its ugly head. And that is the constant feeling that you're doing it wrong, right? Or you're doing something, you're applying the effort, and you just think like, well, there's got to be more I could be doing. Supernatural, at least I assume, I hope, because I deal with this all the time. I've been dealing with it the last couple weeks because I got incredibly violently ill. Like I was shitting piss for for like, I'm very classy, for like 4 days, and I couldn't eat. I mean, I could not put food down. So of course I lost like 11 pounds, you know, in 4 or 5 days, which to most people out there who are like grossly overweight sounds great. But to me, it was a disaster because we all know I wasn't losing body fat. I was losing because I was not nourishing myself. It was mostly water and then, you know, a little bit of muscle mass. And, you know, when you put in as much effort as I do, as some of you do, into training, into trying to build up your body and be healthy, to see it just evaporate by something that's outside of my control. It wasn't like I decided to take up a hobby of Jack in the Box and vodka. There's something hit me, and I think, you know, my wife and I just filled out our chicken coop, and I was dealing with the chickens a lot. And I think I got some weird fucking poultry-born illness, but I was really sick. Anyway, so then I'm trying to put the pieces back together. And I'm like, am I doing too much volume? I got to get it quicker. I should cut my carbs. You know, that's what I should do to get myself back. I just should go pure protein. And, you know, staying the course is really paramount. Now, staying the course, if your plan is fucked, is, of course, going to be a disaster. And I think that that's why a lot of people encounter trouble, is that they make a sincere decision internally. I'm going to get in better shape. I'm tired of the way I look. I'm tired of the way I feel. Here we go. But you don't have kind of the guidance or the knowledge to do it properly. Then you actually do stay the course, and you're applying yourself to something that isn't going to give you any results. And you're like, well, fuck this. Okay? So that's one thing. Another thing is that you're so super motivated. You do get good guidance. You do have a program set up for you. And 3 or 4 weeks into it, you're like, I'm not getting the results I want fast enough. Or I'm not getting results like that other person's getting results. So I'm going to add in a bunch of stuff, or I'm going to cut more calories than I was prescribed to do. I'm going to add in more exercises. I'm going to do my workout twice in a week as opposed to once a week. All these things play in your head, right? And I will tell you, beyond a shadow of a doubt, and this comes from my own personal experience and from working with people, working alongside people, high-level athletes down to regular Joes, you will make that kind of life-changing transition, the progress that comes where you internally, which is more important, and everyone around you will notice and will see the difference in you. And I'm not just talking abs and biceps. I'm talking about the difference. When you make a difference in your life, when you internally transform something inside of you for the positive, it comes from consistency to doing a very simple, very well curated collection of things, not from constantly adding in or subtracting elaborate stuff. Okay? The person who commits 12 weeks without deviating, regardless of how frustrated they get, regardless of how disappointed they may be, you devote 12 weeks to walking every day a good amount and doing 2 really well constructed resistance training routines twice a week, that person will inevitably end up with better results than the person who does a 6-day-a-week training split with all this elaborate stuff going on. Because almost always, the person doing the 6-day-a-week elaborate training program, you know, with varying volumes and whatnot, isn't going to stick to it. Or something will arise where they're saying like, "Whoa, maybe what I'm doing is too much work for that goal. I should change my goals. I should do this. I should do that." There's decision fatigue that comes in. And, you know, the reality is that the big big difference, the big stuff that we're all shooting for, that internal transition, the big results that you see, the before and after pictures, the stuff it takes to do that is kind of boring. And I saw a YouTube video the other day of Kobe Bryant, God rest his soul, um, talking about training and talking about his life and talking about his commitment to playing basketball. And what I appreciated about this video in particular is that a lot, especially about Kobe's work ethic, became this thing of legend. And you almost thought that he was continually putting on a show to keep up the image. And I am fortunate enough from my job and my life to have been very close with broadcasters and staff members of the Los Angeles Lakers, the sports broadcasters for a time that were working with the Lakers day in and day out, that really actually got to know these people, these players and coaches. I'm close personal friends with a good collection of them. So all the lure of the legend, the mystique of Kobe Bryant, it was totally true. He was showing up to the gym way earlier than everybody at every point in his career. He would leave later. He was the most driven person that anyone had ever encountered, who had not, spent time with Michael Jordan. Kobe Bryant, it was totally legit. But Kobe was talking about his life, and he was talking about his training protocol and everything. And he was describing how it's not the sweat that he had to deal with. It was that in order to be amazing, he had to just constantly, over and over again, pound away at stuff that he found fundamental and was at times, to be frank, boring. Hitting that elbow jumper over and over again, at the baseline jumper, just drilling transitions, putting it through the legs and just working on agility off the dribble, elevating on the jump shot, free throws. He wanted to do these kind of elaborate, YouTube style dribbling sequences, work on that and dunk and all that. That's fun, right? But he knew to be the best that he had to just constantly, just over and over again, he was hammering this stuff that he admitted was at times very boring. And that was the hardest part for him, was fighting this urge to just give up because it was fucking dull. And I will tell you, with body transformation, that's a thing. And, YouTube fitness personalities and Instagram fitness influencers can make a great living presenting these really eye-catching, really impressive kind of acrobatic programs with different breakdowns of circuits and kettlebells and da-da-da. You want to know the reality is, like, monitor your calories, up the protein, and grind week after week after week of the same stuff, the same kind of boring, monotonous crap. It becomes not boring when you can see yourself becoming better, but it is, at first glance on paper, it is boring. And just work past that. If you really want to do that, if you really want to make that change that is altering for everything in your life. Again, it's not just about the image, the abs and the biceps. If you want to do that thing where inside you're becoming a different person for the better, sometimes you just got to have the iron will to get through what could be looked at as monotony. Because most everyone, I don't think Americans are lazy. I don't think modern humans are lazy. I don't. Sure, I know some lazy fucks. But I don't think it's this resistance to getting off the couch because you hate sweating. I don't think it's resistance to going after the job that you've always dreamed of, or writing the script you've had cooked up in your brain. I don't think that resistance comes from laziness, a lack of work ethic. What I think it is, more than anything, is that it takes so much fortitude to push through continually doing the shit that you know isn't going to be all that pleasurable, and to just continue hammering away at it. I had that problem so deeply when it came to jujitsu. I wanted so badly to be, Hamilo Boral. I wanted to be Marcelo Garcia. I wanted to be able to throw people in my guard and just effortlessly elevate my hips and choke people and fucking break their arms. I did. And then about 3 or 4 months into being a white belt and going in there, I was like, oh man, I got to continually do these shrimping exercises. And I got to have people smash me and work on my defense. And it's like, it's kind of boring. Like, I thought this was going to be super fun and I was going to be flipping around doing flying arm bars. And after the 300th time of doing the traditional Gracie get up, I was like, I don't know if this is fun. I don't like it. And I had to do something internally and to take time off here and there. And I finally came back and I was like, no, let's just do it. And then one day, after about a year into being a blue belt, where I actually started to have fun with it because I bit the bullet and worked on the things I needed to work on. And it was not, oftentimes, most of the time, it was not fun. But, that's just one thing that I would like to address. It's like, don't get all panicky. Commit to doing something with consistency. That may not seem like it's the most challenging. It may not seem like it's the most stimulating. But the results typically are at the end of that journey, where you just have the guts to stay the course with